Last week, we wrapped up our 5 weeks moving down the US East Coast. It was a race against the visa clock after spending so much time getting the boat ready to sail in Rhode Island. And while there were fun times and beautiful sunsets, there was also a lot of bad weather and breakdowns. Now that we were finally in Florida, we were able to finish the few last-minute jobs and get ready to set sail for the Bahamas with only one final hurdle: crossing the Gulf Stream.
I noticed that the bracket that holds the heat exchanger to the side of the engine had snapped off. There's always something, so new O-rings in. Now we need to fix this problem as well. Never ends. So the plan is to clean these two up and then using some quick steel to glue that back to there, except it goes that way. And glue that back to there, and then in addition, I'm just going to cut a little slot in here, and then around this will go a worm drive clamp. That should also assist in holding that together nicely. Fingers crossed that's strong enough. But first things first, I need to clean up the old bracket and make sure it's ready to glue back together. Clamped up.
Okay, quarantine flag. And
Why do we need that? We're not in the Bahamas.
well, not yet, but this is buried in a little cupboard. We got to get ready. And I'm excited. Okay, we're looking
That's
for...
it, the one with red and white.
No, it's not. It's teal and yellow. And there's no seashells on it. There's 200 bloody flags in here. Teal and yellow and black.
Do you want to cut it off?
Yeah, I think last time we left the strings on quite a lot.
You need to leave it halfway just in case we go to England or...
Where is that?
Oh, I don't know.
Or somewhere, just in case. Okay. Oh look, there's a halfway fold. How convenient. Doo-doo-doo.
Are you sure you're not right-handed?
Stop! That was a perfectly fine, safe cut. Look at that. That was 2 left-handed cuts. Let me just shut the knife before I declare no one's been injured. No one's been injured. I'm left-handed. And now, to get ready to depart. Part of that departure planning was considering the impact of the Atlantic trade winds. Constant winds that push a large volume of water into the Caribbean Sea, all of which needs to find its way back out. That exit is found off the eastern side of the Florida Panhandle and is called the Gulf Stream. It is a strong flowing northerly current that is important to consider when crossing to the Bahamas, and it is highly recommended not to cross the Gulf Stream with wind coming from the north. So we checked our forecast daily, and after almost 2 weeks of waiting for good winds and smaller seas, we departed Fort Pierce, Florida for the Bahamas. The weather window was short, so we motor sailed through this part of the passage to clear the current before the winds could resume blowing from the north. Our track, pushed further north as a result of the strong current, was corrected to head due south after we passed through the strongest parts of the Gulf Stream. 1 full day and 94 nautical miles of rain and splashing waves later, we made landfall on the west end of Grand Bahama that night. We raised our quarantine flag and practically fell into bed until the next morning when we had to clear customs.
You haven't thought of the process of hanging that one, have you?
Have not.
No, you've come unprepared.
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
I thought I might have some inspiration upon seeing this one.
This one has little tabs that are tied to the...
Damn it.
Yeah.
Dare you do that to me? Okay, what's happening here? I also did not anticipate this. We are in the Bahamas. Even the harbor water looks green.
Would you jump in?
I have a fear of harbors.
Why?
I don't know, people clean fish and sharks like them.
Form filling.
They're tough. Has there been on board during the voyage any case or suspected case of plague, cholera, yellow fever, or smallpox?
I think I had the plague one day, but I'm better now.
You look like you've had the plague. Has the plague occurred or been suspect among rats or mice on board during the voyage, or has there been unusual mortality? Well, I haven't seen any, so they might be dead. I'll put yes.
I dare you to put yes.
Has
I
any
dare you
person
to put yes.
died on board during the voyage other than a result of an accident? Give particulars. No.
Well, I did tell some jokes and you said I killed it.
I wouldn't have said that. Is there on board during the voyage any case of illness which you suspect to be of an infectious? Don't you have chlamydia? Just kidding. Nope. Are you aware? Oh, in absence of a surgeon, the master should regard the following symptoms as grounds for suspecting the existence of infectious disease. Fever accompanied by prostration, I should really define that, or persisting for several days, attended with glandular swelling or any acute skin rash or eruption without fever, severe diarrhea with symptoms, or collapse, jaundice accompanied by fever. Are you aware of any other conditions on board which may lead to an infectious disease? No. And then the last line was cut off by the printer, so I hope it wasn't important. Done. Longer in quarantine.
Bahamas, away.
First foreign country.
It's a nice pleasant day. It's supposed to stay pretty light all day. And the waves have calmed right down from yesterday. It was horrible last night when we pulled in. We managed to stay on the dock for free.
Thank you, Customs.
Thank you, Customs and Border, and the person who I think made a mistake when they said we could stay there for free.
Yeah.
But it gets shallow really quick around this corner. I do want to chuck a lure out, but I think we'll just catch a barracuda. The barracuda are really stinky.
Don't you have something else on your agenda?
Oh yeah, well Matt and Michelle from
Port
Cape
Canaveral.
Port Canaveral, gave us me a cigar. So it's my entry cigar. They also gave us a ridiculously large bottle of beer that was home brewed that we're going to drink on New Year's because it's not quite ready yet. But for now we're just going to smoke the entry cigar and have a nice day's sail. It's the sails are set perfectly, they're nice and balanced, so there's not even any steering required.
This is the tropical dream. As soon as
This
you get
is the
across
dream.
the
How
Gulf
is
Stream.
it like we're not even that far from the hell that was the United States, but It's just a billion times better.
I love it already. We pulled into a stunning anchorage further down Grand Bahama, and the next day ventured back outside to begin exploring underwater before venturing south again. We caught another fish, a barracuda this time, and carried on to the Berry Islands to stay at another jaw-dropping anchorage. We jumped in the water to check on our anchor and pulled out the drone to share the view with you from the sky.
I am slowly losing my mother tongue, but I'll get it back someday. There's a boy in the woods within everyone, and he's calling out your name. As far as you are, he is never gone. He's the word that you never get wrong. He's the breath at the top of your lungs, mother tongue. You're losing touch with roots, it's a heartbreak. You'll never live it down. You're looking for the fruits of your hard labor. You lose it when it's found. Your greed leads your search and your money bound. You truly know your worth when you hit the ground. You're searching for the truth about your heartache. You're going out of bounds. You wish that you could choose from your past mistakes and throw them to the ground. I am slowly losing my mother tongue, but I'll get it back someday. There's a boy in the woods within everyone, and he's calling out your name. As far as you are, he is never gone. He's the word that you never get wrong. He's the breath at the top of your lungs, mother tongue. Tell me please, won't you get down?
Now that we are happily in the Bahamas, tune in next week to see how life has changed since finally finding the warmer weather. We get to enjoy light winds so that we can drop our mainsail and practice using our Jenniker for the first time, and we set out for a beautiful night sail in order to get further south to pick up our friend and share our new ocean-bound life with our first visitor.
I am slowly losing my mother tongue, but I'll get it back someday. There's a boy in the woods within everyone, and he's calling out your name.